We're really honored to have Greg Parker, the founder of Parker's Kitchen here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here.
Thank you for having me. When I opened that first store, I worked for 3.5 years without having a day off.
Wow.
3.5 years. And, you know, when you look back on it and you think, how the hell did I do that? How did I have the energy to get up when you're sick and go to work every day and deal with the challenges that life presents in business? The truth is that in the convenience store industry, we all sell pretty much the same stuff. It's not like Parker's does this and Circle K doesn't carry it. You know, we figured out a way to differentiate ourselves from our competitors with most of the things that we do. We want to have an elevated experience. We want to do a better job. And probably, I can't even guess, 30 years ago, we worked with a guy that still lives in Savannah, I think Jim Emery, and he was a branding specialist that worked with Coca-Cola. And we had this retreat that we went to his office, which was above his garage at his house at the Landings, and we focused on who was our core customer, what did we want to be known for and defined by? Because as I say, we sell pretty much the same stuff. And we arrived on this idea that we wanted to be the oasis of what you need, that you could get to this oasis and we'd have it. But more importantly, we wanted to be the person, the company, that was satisfying the needs of the working mother. The working mother. And the way we arrived at that was, she was the most time-starved, the most discriminating, the most demanding consumer, because she had to be. You know, she is taking the kids to the dentist and taking them to the doctor and going to work and picking them up from school and doing all these things. She's just constantly having to multitask. So she became our brand filter, the focus that we would look, the lens that we would look at everything that we did, whether it was lighting or how we did our landscaping, how we did our architecture, how we were doing our bathrooms. And so she became this brand filter of all the things that we were doing, and it really resonated because, you know, if you're satisfying the needs of the working mother, you're satisfying the needs of everyone.
Exactly.
And so it really was a great exercise for us. And when we talk about how high are our gondolas, how wide are our aisles, you know, what are the lines of sight? We want to make sure that we have glass in the front so you can see all the way through the store. Safety, you know, cleanliness. Our bathrooms from day one have been something that differentiates us from everyone. I think we have the cleanest bathrooms of anyone in the industry.
I have to ask you just some tips for young people who probably pass your stores every day. They may see this interview. And what would you say to someone who wants to be similar to you or any other successful entrepreneur these days?
Well, I would say a few things. Be ready to work harder than anyone else. You've got to understand your business better than anyone else. And one of the things that happened because of the way I went into business, I didn't know anything. I had to figure everything out. So I had to become good at marketing. I had to become good at HR. I had to become good at all of these different facets of a business over time. And you know, there was a time in my business when I was the best at bookkeeping, the best at all these things. And today, I don't hold a candle to the people that work with our company. They're all far better than I am. But, you know, I don't think people really understand, if you really want to be successful, what it takes, it's going to be a lot more work than you think. It's going to be a lot harder than you think. I saw a podcast with the CEO of NVIDIA, and they said, what would you say? The same question you gave me. He said, I would tell them not to do it. And they said, really? He said, I had no idea what was going to go into this. And when I play it back now, I'm going to be 72 in a few months. When I play it back and I think, God, how did I have the energy to do that? You know, 50 years old and getting the nighttime calls, something just went wrong with a store, jumping up, getting dressed, riding to a store at 50 to figure out what was going on, you know, whatever had happened. And I was willing to dedicate the time and the energy to do it. And then the importance of building a team and a collective of people that are going to help you, whether it's your insurance people, your CPA, your lawyers, the things that are going to help you as you advance through your career. So I would say you've got to be really passionate. You've got to have more perseverance than you think. I worry about the fact that a lot of people think I'm going to create an app, and this is going to help me be successful. And there's going to be a shortcut to success. There's no shortcut to success. You got to be smarter and more curious and be willing to work harder and longer than anyone else.
Let's talk about those core values that drive Parkers.
Yeah, our core four. So our foundation is that we want to be the best place to work. And I'm so proud that we were selected by USA Today last year as one of the best places to work in America. The other thing is that we want to grow store profits. Third thing is that we want to grow store numbers. And the fourth thing is we want to give back to our communities in really meaningful ways. So in the last 6 or 7 years, we've given around $30 million away. And we have four buckets that we think are important in terms of philanthropy. And just like Best Place to Work is the foundation for our four core, education is the foundation for our philanthropic giving. So we have education, healthcare, heroes, and hunger. And so we started our 1 Cent Wednesday programs that you've reported on before, thank you, probably in 2011. And I think we've given around $3 million, somewhere near $3 million over that through our 1 Cent Wednesdays program. Now we add more money onto that. Of course, we endowed the business school at Georgia Southern. But we think given to education, it's the tide that floats all ships, because you create greater economic opportunity through education. You lower the crime rate. All these benefits come by educating the community that you're in. And that's one of the reasons I'm really proud of Dr. Watts and what she's doing with our school system. She's a game changer, and she's going to do things to help bring up, I know her biggest initiative right now is about reading. And that is so important for education for our community to increase the reading levels. So education, healthcare, we made a $5 million gift 2 years ago maybe to pay for indigent care for uninsured and underinsured people. We partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank to try to feed 2 million meals to hungry children last year, and I think we succeeded in that too. And we've now partnered with Wounded Warriors for Heroes. So the thing that people don't understand is with Wounded Warriors, the wounds are often, yes. And so it's having, PTSD, the things that really affect people over time. And so much is focused on that. So we've been very successful. I like to say that I spend a lot of time planting my crops and weeding and fertilizing and irrigating and doing all the things. And now I'm in a place where we can harvest the crops. So one of the things I'm going to do the rest of my life is be giving back in meaningful ways, significant ways, to try to help the communities. Is that what you call the harvest time? It's harvest time. We're in the harvest time. So we want to be able to give back in really meaningful ways to try to help our communities through those four areas.